Hello everyone and welcome to today's PhotoBiz Live where we're doing website reviews. So if you want to have your website review, please leave it in the comment section. It's a first come first served basis. We're going to look at 4 websites today and possibly a 5th one. But if you want to join our list, in the description you can fill out that form and have your website looked at as we go. So I'm going to give people a little time before we get started, but that's what we're doing today. I'm excited to look at your website right before this long weekend for most people. So we'll take a look at what your website's doing, see where we can make improvements, and just kind of see what everyone's doing in general. If you've never had your website reviewed by us, what we generally do is take about 15 minutes or so. We go through a website, see what's going on, see where we can make improvements, modifications, changes, and then you can make those changes on your own later. You can reach out to our team, and we also have services available too that can help you with these decisions if you don't have the time or the know-how or resources to make those types of changes. So we try to make it as easy as possible, but we know everyone is quite busy, or technology isn't their thing, so we try to make it as easy when it comes to making these decisions. But we also want to make sure that you're looking your best online. That way you can stay as profitable online. It's very difficult with all the things going on in the world, SEO changes, new tools, things like that. You got to stay relevant. So that's what we're here to do today, is see how you can stay relevant against your competitors. So let's dive right on in to our first website for today. Jamie Burns Photography and Design. Let's just kind of give it a quick scroll through on the homepage. Nice little rotating banner. And we end with a form at the bottom. So right off the top, love that we get to see these images here right away. We can kind of just dive right in if we wanted to, take a look at, see what they got going on. We get this nice little bit of information. Something you could do is bring that piece up a little bit higher and kind of like tuck it just beneath this section a little bit more. Give it a little air, less air to breathe right there, just so we can see that line maybe right when it loads. That'd be kind of cool. It doesn't have to sit flush with these images, but it can just add about that much padding in between. Like these two images would be perfect right there. Then we can start reading what's going on the page. We learn a little bit about you, things that you do, capturing special moments, family portraits, children's sessions, even events. Okay, so you got that in there. The one thing I'm looking for is, do you mention where you're located at? So far I don't see that right away. Definitely want to make sure that you're putting that information there on the website. And remember, the who, what, when, where, why about you. If your homepage is your brochure page, it should give you a little bit of everything that I desire when I come as a client. I want to see who you are, what types of photography you do, where you're located, and guide me through the rest of the website. So you got to make a good impression right away. So pull up that section here, add something about your location somewhere here. I think that would be really nice. We got this divider that brings us right down into some images that rotate. That looks cool. And then we lose this gray tone that you have right in here, and we go straight into a white one. I can see that this happens here as well, but there's like this nice line break, but it doesn't happen really here, so it just kind of feels like all of a sudden it's been placed in there. And then we have these dramatic line breaks and then a huge gap of white. Definitely remove this huge gap of white. It's not necessary. You could have that all sit flush right there. And if you could, I would just add that gray back to this tone so it just fits nice and sits beautifully on the page. It'll feel more cohesive to it. So this Contact Me is kind of living in its own domain on that gray, and then all of a sudden we see this white form. So definitely recommend making those changes. I think that would be ideal for me when I see that on your homepage. Let's jump over to your About Me. Alright, so we can see that the font size changes. We go from this relatively nice size font to a little bit smaller, a little bit more difficult to read. I definitely would try to make this scale up a little bit just so it fits this whole section a little bit more. I think that'll look really nice. Like this font looks beautiful. It just plays well, and you have it kind of in this card section. Looks really good. So I would just make this text a little bit larger, closer to this, if not the exact same font size. And you could add a call to action button here to like connect with me, so people can click with you, because right now their only options are to come here to know to do that. So you could put something right here where people could click it and immediately know to do that, because some people might miss that part, or going straight to your booking option. That would be really nice here as well. So don't have a dead end on this page. Give them something to do. I think that would be really nice. I like this section, but you can see some of it's getting clipped off. So definitely take a look at that. It's about capturing moments in something's missing. So just take a look at that. This is a square box, so it might be getting clipped off. So take a look if your context is all there or not. All right, let's jump over to your investment and booking page. This is the first time we see like this gray strip here. The font, it's also, we can see it's all caps here in this nice serif font, but in here it's lower. And I kind of like that it's got that nice strip. If you could do that to that investment page, I think that would look really nice. Bring this aesthetic along with it. Copy this block, drag it over to this page, add it here, and it is right investment. I think that would clear up all this section here. Now we get into this section, looks really good. Sessions begin at this cost, and the message to book your, yep, so all that's here. So they fill out this form and they go right away. So this is your booking option directly here. Looks good. That's my recommendation for this section. I definitely would just make this section look more united with this section. I think that would look really nice. Down here, I like that you're showing the pricing and stuff like that. You're giving people selection options, what types of photography, and going from there. So far I think that looks really nice. I don't think you necessarily need this divider at the bottom. That's purely up to you though. All right, let's jump over to your gallery. Nice images. Got the load more option on, great. What you could do with the rest of the page is, before the load more, you could have some details here about the types of portraits you take. You could add that blue strip again to unify the pages more. But down here, if you want to put information about like the types of photography you take and stuff like that, that'll be good here. You can also put that a call to action button that drives them to the investment and booking page, or you can put that form directly here as well. If they've gotten all the way to here, maybe they're interested, like, oh, I could either load more, or I could read more details. So something to think about here. That'll make this page a little bit more SEO friendly and also user friendly. All right, let's jump over to events. I like that fade in right here. This is the first time you use like a gold yellow font, and we see a little purple here. Go back to that black or use that blue that you've been using. This just feels alien to the rest of the page. You can see that you utilize that gold and black. So I don't hate the gold. It stands out differently from everything else on your website. Also, I would put a title page here again. We have portraits here, investment here. That might be worth putting on this page as well, like for events. And we can see all the types of events that you do. Definitely just, again, another call to action to book. You got an upcoming event, book me today. Boom, and then they can click over to your event. So Jamie, I think you have some really strong details on this page. Some things that I would do is just modify a few things, tweak here and there that I think could really, just add a little polish to the page at the end of the day. Some other things that you could do is think about some SEO options that you can do to enhance these pages. Also, I would definitely recommend a blog. A blog shows for events how often you're busy, and to other clients as well, that if you stay booked. So, and it's going to be great for your SEO purposes. So people looking for, event photography in X location, if you have a blog article or something like that for that location, people might be like, oh, I didn't know, who shot these photos? These look great. I want to get that photographer. Get what I'm saying? So think about that when you're coming up with more ideas and stuff like that. But other than that, I think you did a really good job. Just a few minor things I would tweak here and there. All right, let's go to our next website. This is, I believe, Jane Lee Jagger. Let's take a look at that. Welcome to the site. Find artists. See what we got going on here. We got a very long description, very small words, very small font. And then we have kind of a gallery style layout of all their work. Okay, so with this long scroll effect, you're kind of getting a gallery effect, and I'm sure on mobile it looks pretty good. I definitely would change this. I think you need an About Me page, put all this information here. Instead of having it as a single page, make a About the Artist page, put all this information here. That way we can just start the scroll of work if you want to. Um, and you don't need to have the portfolio this way either. Now you might have it where, say, like, see how this is? This is nice because it's like by choosing which type of gallery, right? So maybe for the homepage, what I might recommend is let's start off a little bit more stylistic where it's just a big rotating banner here at the top. And it's just your work. Like someone's going side by side looking at your work. That might be something attractive. That might be really nice. And then you could have a few pieces down here. And you might even want to utilize some different stylings that we have. Like we have some really cool visuals that I could showcase for you. Give me 1 second. Let's see, we just released some new stylings not too long ago. Let's see, where is it? New layouts. Oh, let me just log in real quick. Okay, so if you take a look at different options that we have here, so let me pull it up again for you. You can see here in the image block, you could select an image, right? You could choose different layout options that we have. You can see with the new pre-designed blocks that we have available, you could choose like a layout that has overlapping effects or something even more gallery based like this. So maybe you wanted to display just like this. You could have it where they kind of are floating like this, so it feels more like a gallery experience. Something I recommend. I think that could look really attractive. Just think about that when it comes to building your website. So definitely recommend maybe doing something like that just to add a little pizzazz to the website, some really make it drawn in. Because with the long scroll, it's fine, but for a home page, it's a lot. I think this would be better for like the individual gallery pages, because then you just go through and it's like, oh, okay. But if you want to like have something a little bit more awestruck at the start of the page, I definitely recommend doing that and then moving that other stuff to like an about page. Like this stuff looks fine the way it's set up here, especially once we get to the gallery pages. I think this looks really cool. But I just think for the home page, we want to add a little bit of energy to the page stylistically. And once we get here, I love that you name the pieces, and it's just kind of scrolling down, and it looks really nice that way. And for a lot of people, it's a lot, to take in. So you want to keep this on these types of pages and not on the home page. Yeah, this is great. Uniform, pretty much all similar. I like that. Just for the home page, it's a little too much. Now when we come to your resume, this is basically your about right here, kinda, right? But I think you could take this, keep this resume section, and then you could create an about page Then that could like have a call to action, a button that leads to your resume, and then you have sections to links. I think this is pretty good. The only thing is you have called them links, but it doesn't look like you can click anywhere. So I definitely would recommend making sure that you have buttons to these locations. Otherwise, they're just kind of floating. As for your contact, simple enough. Then you got a little bit of art here on the page. So generally, I think the one thing I would say change-wise, move this to another page, make that font a little bit bigger. Remember, people are going to be reading, and this is going to be small on screens, it's going to be small on phones. So we want to make sure that it's easier to digest for people. And then make this homepage a little bit stylistically different. Like you could have this cool floating effect. You could go in and do something like this, where it's more spread out. So you could have cool things. You can even add framing around some of the objects. So if you want to change the stylistic, image borders, you can. You can turn them on or off. If you don't like that, see, you can make it really cool. And then you can lace it all on white, so it's got that nice effect. And there you go. See, so you could have something like that, and then just scroll down the page, or you could create utilizing the collages that we have. We have a lot of cool collage systems like this. If you wanted to utilize it this way, you could do something like this as well. So just make it a little bit more attractive and like visually impactful right away. I think that's going to help you out. But I definitely think these gallery collages down here would be nice. I don't think you need to use the overlapping ones because you want to let the art speak for itself. So I would definitely just want to make sure. So you can see like there's the overlapping effect. But I don't think you want that necessarily. I think you want the other style. So like something like this would look really cool. So definitely recommend doing that. And if you need any help, just reach out to our team. Our team will be able to assist you with making those types of decisions and getting that updated on your website. All right, let's jump over to our next website. This is Coastal Pet Photography. All right, so we can see Myrtle Beach, Poly, Georgetown, Charleston. All right, positively perfect photo sessions. All right. Load more option here. Not too bad, not too bad. So let's just kind of walk through the page a little bit. So I'm going to refresh it. So right away you can see these images. I don't think we need to load more option unless you want to keep loading more. I think you just get straight to stick with your first batch of 9 images like this, and then we get straight into more of these. And I would just say keep it to 3 so we don't have to load more. That way it's all in one level. Love this section, love how big it is. Like this section about yourself, looks really good. Might add a little space here because we have so much space below it. It just feels like it's being hamburgered in at the top. But that looks good. Love the floating piece next to this. And we go straight into pricing and stuff here. Now, you could keep that all on the investment page. That way it's all relegated there, and you could have or your schedule page. Right now, I feel like this is the end of the page, and then all of a sudden there's more. So this could just kind of cause a little like, oh, okay, and then there's like stuff down here, and you're like, oh, what's this? So I definitely would recommend like maybe pausing the page right here, get into here, and then they can go to the next pages. Because I'm hoping this stuff that's at the bottom will be, see, it's right here. It's very fast and easy to see. I love that. And the investment page is already there. Oh, it drops us down to here. See, so I might even not make this a anchor link. I might just make a page dedicated, kind of like you have the scheduled now one. I love this. I love how short and sweet this is. It makes it fast to connect with you. Here, it confuses me because I'm like, oh, there's more stuff at the top, and I didn't realize I went back to the home page. So I would make a page separate with just the investment options if possible. All right, let's check out your contact page. Simple enough. It says paragraph here, but you can change it to say something like, you know, message. All right, let's check out client's artwork. And that goes straight into a clientele's gallery. So, you know, when we're looking at everything, Greg, I think you got a really strong start. I would add here maybe connecting, like a button that shows either a gallery of more work or, you know, I think that's one thing that I do notice is missing. Is like we have these images, and that's kind of it. You know, you can take them to a separate gallery where they can see more of your work because you got really awesome work. So let's showcase it. You're doing studio photography with pets. Who isn't going to want to look at more of that, right? At that point, all you can do is sell yourself more. So with your about page, you could have like a little call to action here. You can then have like a gallery page that could also link to schedule now or investment pages. So I definitely recommend doing something like that. I think that's just going to really enhance the overall effect of your pages, and it'll give you more, you know, information. Now the next thing you could do after that is create a blog, and that's just easy marketing for you at that point. Anytime you do a pet session, you could just talk about it and send people directly to your website. People want to come to your website anyway because they want to look at cute animals, but then once they're there, you're going to keep them there. I mean, it's a big strong statistic. Like people just want to look at pet stuff. So you already got a win. So let's enhance that. Create more blog content on some past events that you've done, future content that you want to roll in about, anything like that. That's just going to be wins for you. And I think that's something you really should focus on for the future for this year. And you can create anything that you've done in the past. You can talk about it. Talk about a session. Talk about how silly it was to work with dogs. Talk about the difficulty or ease it is to work with dogs. People want to know how simple it is and that maybe you can get them out within an hour. Or is it difficult? Or are pets hard to shoot? I don't know. Something that you might want to talk about. I think that's really cool subjects for you. So those are my recommendations for that. If you have any questions, please reach out to our team. But I think you got a pretty strong start. There's just a few things I would polish up. Some spacing stuff, a page dedicated to your photography, change the investment anchor link to an investment page, just like the schedule now page. I think that's really strong for you. All right, let's jump over to our next website. All right, Anna Yanev. Let's see what we got here. So our opening page, we got a gallery setting. You know, it's just the immediately portfolio style opening. This is good. What I would recommend here is give me some information down here below, the who, what, when, and where, why about you. We can see a little bit of that here embedded here. You know, I know you're in Orlando just based on that, but not everyone's going to get this far and see that. So something you could do here is just add a little SEO interest to the page. After you get all this, if they get this low, you can have all those SEO type details here, like who you are, types of photography you do, how long you've been in business, and, you know, location. I think that would be really helpful here. Let's jump over to the artist page. Got a bit of information. That's good. Nice reflective piece. What I would add here, drive them where you want them to go next. You can have like a secondary navigation down here where it's like, you know, view more or see my work, and then they can click into your portraiture, architectural photography, or fine artwork. I think that'll keep things going. You know, you don't want to have a dead end at the end of this page because we're hoping people know to click on where you want them to go next, but you kind of got to navigate them. Be the director of your website. So definitely tell them where you want them to go next. Let's jump over to business portraits. And I'm sure this page is just photos itself. Yep. Let's jump over to the modeling portfolio. It's great work, nice and polished. Yeah, so you're gonna see a uniform to all of these, and it's just like the home page. Again, the home page is where you can add a little bit more of those details. What you can do here, you can add like at least a call to action to like interested in a session, book with me today, like a button here, something that gives them something to do every single time at the bottom of one of these pages. Mm-hmm. And that'll be for all of them, I recommend. All right, let's jump over to your architectural. Check out the commercial. Looks good. All right, let's jump over to the residential. Great looking work. Same recommendations. Same recommendations. Let's jump over to the blog. Oh, takes us off-site to another one. Something that you could do and focus on is making sure that your blog, first of all, it looks like the last time you may have updated was a year ago, maybe. It just says May 31st, but it doesn't say which May 31st. Definitely blog more if possible. If you can, try to blog on your own website versus on Blogspot, because then you're taking people to Blogspot versus on your website. Just some pointers on that. And then okay, and then it takes them to a fine art section that is also a third party thing. Okay, so you sell stuff directly through here. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. All right, let's get back to your website. Let's go to your contact. This is our first time seeing this pink. I like the orange that you've been running with, so I would say stick with the orange and black. Okay, and you put your frequently asked questions down here. There we go. Yeah. So, a few things that I would definitely recommend is let's beef up this homepage a little bit. You know, right now it's very idealistic and looks much more like your gallery pages, which isn't a bad thing. It's very same throughout. You want consistency, but familiarity. At some point, it's like, okay, I know what to expect. I've already seen everything on this page. You want to keep the energy, you know, kind of going throughout the rest of the website. Something you can do is just transform the homepage a little bit. Remember, the homepage should feel like a brochure page. Gives them a little bit of splash of everything to do. Like I would use like this couple here, maybe this gentleman here, maybe this one that's alluring over here, and then any other in between that. You also have something from 2013 that can feel dated. That's over 12 years ago. So just be mindful of that type of imagery. You should have one at least from like 2023, but 2013 to customers they might think, oh, how old does she even work anymore? You know, so just think about that when you're putting this work out there. Things subliminally, some people think that's 12 years ago. I don't know. So, you know, think about those types of things when it comes to the photography. Everything else is very, you know, very good. It's all built in, very strong. I definitely just think it needs call to actions to drive them further through the page and where you want them to go next. Another thing you could add is booking options. They have to come all the way here to talk to you. If you had something a little bit here on the front end, a little information about you, I think that would go a long way. On here, you could have that secondary navigation that drives them through the other types of portraiture. And since these things go off-site, the blog and the fine arts, I definitely would put them towards the latter half because people click here, they might not stay on the website because they might go like, oh, I'm out, you know. And next thing you know, they're not going back to your website. And same thing with the fine arts. So we don't want to steer them off your website. Just want to try to keep them trapped in there. Okay? Otherwise, really good. I just think those are the few things I would do. Just beef up these pages. It's going to help with SEO purposes. And if you can get your blog over here, it's not sending people to Blogspot. It'll be sending people to your .com. All right, let's check out our next website, Jesse Moore Photography. Got a rotating banner here. Full page rotating banner. Looks nice. And that's like kind of the whole front page. You know, not bad. I definitely desire a little bit more. Something that you could do with this page is at least put some information about yourself. We can see here in the footer section, you know, location and stuff like that. But just kind of brief people like who you are. If you got this big splash, I expect to kind of see a little bit more information here below that's going to drive them visually to somewhere else. So I definitely recommend adding just the who, what, when, where about you, and you know what type of photography you do. I can see weddings, engagement, portraits. You know, let's make sure that it's here for SEO purposes, for search purposes. All right, let's jump into your information. You have a lot of pages, so we got a lot to go through. Let's jump into about Jesse Moore. Great bit of detail here. Something I definitely recommend is turn on text wrapping. It's going to shorten this section up a whole lot, because what it'll do is, see how everything is kind of down one column? It's what I like to call icicling, when the single picture is by itself and now we got this long icicle of a column down here. I definitely would turn on text wrapping, because by the time it gets to the word relationship, it's going to now put beautiful I love and over here. So it's going to put everything else, and then it'll just feed down the page. It'll shorten this page up significantly. So, and it'll also look more editorial and visual. Great little call to action though, love that. End with an image at the bottom. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, that's what I definitely recommend to do that page is, excuse me, is definitely have something that connects that page. You know, we have the nice call to action, but turn on text wrapping just to shorten it up a little bit. All right, let's jump over to wedding information. Love that you put your pricing in bold. Bold engagement sessions. Maybe you want to bold that as well. Great bit of information. You could have buttons and links directly to those sections as well, if there are details elsewhere. Great bit of information here. Looks good. Add a call to action to book. Send it to your contact information. I like this. Why hire me? You know, this is nice. This is that storytelling stuff that I was talking about that you could put on your homepage. Put some of those elements there. Yeah, it's great. You can put a call to action here at the bottom saying something like, let's chat. Something soft, not too aggressive. All right, let's check out your weddings. Okay, so you're using full page banners to kind of do all that. As impressive as it can also kind of get a little lost for people. Something that I definitely recommend is maybe the slideshow effect might be really nice for you. What's nice about it is it kind of gives you this effect, but it's a little bit more focused in. They can click to enlarge it if they want to as well, so they can focus on one photo at a time. If you're going to have more details down the page, I definitely would I would do that style as well, because right now these are just floating banners, which is fine, but I think you can make this page a lot stronger by breaking it up that way. You can see like this right here, this sells it, because now I can kind of pick and choose what I want to, you know, look at. Still same impact, and a little bit easier to navigate. And see, for that wedding photography page, you could put all the details about wedding photography in there, what you do, what a day's like, etc., etc. It could be a landing page to its own. Yeah. Yeah, I like the previous two. Thought those are good. Now we've gone back to the other style. Let's change it to the other. It just makes it a little bit easier to visually see. Or you can just change the layouts completely. You can create kind of like a visual cinematic piece of like going down the website and seeing these pictures as they unfold. You have collage styles and such like that. We mentioned it here, but you could do some of those like overlaps of the day and things like that, and that would just look so stunning with your photography. All right, let's jump over to blog and recent weddings. Hopefully you've gotten more recent weddings. Looks like the last thing you talked about for weddings was in October. So hopefully you're getting some for the spring. Definitely recommend keeping up this. And you do the film strip style, it looks like, where you kind of show a little flavor of the day. Lots of photos, I'm assuming. Yep. Something you could do before they get through the film strip is you could add like a little call to action here, or at the bottom if you want to talk about trying to get more sessions later. All right, let's see. Let's jump over to commercial. This is so far down the page. I get what you're kind of doing with it, but I think I definitely would change this slightly. Again, we've talked about some of the other stylings. I kind of like what you were doing with this for you. I think that looks really nice. Let's take a look at the architectural. Yeah, it just satisfies getting through your page this way. I definitely recommend doing it this way whenever you can. For all the other pages, please think about doing this for your pages. Yeah, it just looks really nice, easy to navigate. You can just flip through it real quick. That's nice. Yeah, you adopted this at some point, or it works. It works for you. I definitely would do that again. Stuff that you could do on these pages. Below it is where you can start writing for SEO purposes. Just those types of photography. You know, talk about branding photography, what you're doing for customers, etc., etc. Do that for you know, food photography, product photography, architectural, commercial, you name it. Put that here. It's just going to strengthen these pages, and then they can just flip through the images here and just read a little bit of information below it. I think it'll just help beef up these pages. Yeah, let's beef up the pages. You got incredible work. We just want to make sure that everything else is working now. See how you just have a pricing inquired? That's where you can start writing about this. You can talk about this. All right, let's jump over to your engagements. Same start. I definitely want it to be familiar to the other styling. I mean, this just is so much easier to see for you, for your work, you know. Definitely recommend this. Let's jump over to your portraits. Change this, bring this up higher. You can put the portrait header below it, and utilize the other styling as possible. Yeah, this is just so much easier to see your work this way. If you're not going to do, you know, like a scrolling gallery, do it this way. I think this is your best look. Yeah, same with this. Yeah. So, Jesse, you have really, really beautiful website, very strong details, wonderful photography. I think the things we want to do is this gallery style works. Make all your other galleries look just like this style if they aren't enabled already. For your homepage, let's make this a little bit more splashier, more cinematic if possible. It's nice to have this big opening, but we don't know any of the details about you. I would love to scroll down to learn more, see more photos, just to get me really engulfed into your work. I think that's really good. I think one reason that's pulling me off is you can see this where it's hidden. It's like it feels like it's starting so low. Let's start it where it's overlapped at the top and it pulls me down. I think that's just going to look really attractive. Another thing is if you have your logo with a PNG that's transparent background, it's going to make this look way nicer when it scrolls as well. Things that also turn on is that text wrapping effect. I think that looked nice there. And then again for your galleries, abandon this look unless you're going to add more details as they scroll. But this style works a lot better. And then underneath that, add details. Add those details about weddings, the events, stuff like that. Other things you can do is add a blog if possible. Again, that's going to help just with you having marketing materials that you can share with clients and on your social media pages. But also when people are searching for X location photography and you come up for photography in X location, there you go. So things to think about that you might not be thinking about yet. But again, if you need any assistance, please reach out to our team. Our team would be happy to help everyone today that we worked with. Thanks everyone for letting us take a look at your website today. It's been fantastic. So next, let's talk about some of the things that we've recently released so you can see what you can do for your own website. If you go to blog.photobiz.com, you can see we have some new features that we want to talk about. And first up, we have some new templates. You're going to see we have brand new templates that were just released, such as Luna, which is kind of focused on kid photography, but you can change it to look any way you want it to. They're beautiful website templates that if you ever want to make any changes to, you can see this right away. And this page style is in the pre-designed pages system as well. So if you like how this is laid out and you want to build your website page to look like this, you can definitely use a pre-designed block over in the website builder. You also have here Nina. You can see this one's more geared towards commercial real estate photography. But again, if you like this styling and you just want to modify it, you can. Same with Joni. You can see right here more for pet photography. So something like that, something nice and polished and pop of color. What's nice is, hey, we looked at a pet photography website today. If he wanted to make some changes to his website, he could pull from this one, just add from the pre-designed page layouts that we have when you click new pages. And then we have Rosa here. It's a very beautiful website. Definitely focused on like engagements, weddings, stylistically. But you see how big and splashy that is? And then you get these nice little corridors that take them to places. That's something that I'm talking about when I'm looking at your website, earlier. So that's something I definitely would recommend for your website, Anna, or taking a look at yours, Jesse, as well. It might be nice for the homepage to have that type of aesthetic. So take a look at those options that are available. Those are new templates, and they are also pre-designed pages that you can utilize right now in the website builder. Just click on new page and you'll see that in the drop down, click new page, and instead of picking blank, you have different options to choose from. Other things that came out in April, if you missed it, new pre-designed pages like I was talking about, they're available that you can select from. Just it'll populate and then you can modify it. You also have website builders, new styling options for the site map at the bottom of the footer. Web Builder also has new page load animations, so you can see how everyone's websites were loading so beautifully today. That's how. And we also have new search bar options for marketing. So if you're looking for a specific thing, it'll pop up in the search bar here. But one of my favorite features was just released, and we kind of saw a little bit of it today. Those pre-designed blocks. And the nice thing about pre-designed blocks are they help you build fast and easy. You don't really have to think about it. You just change the content within it and without having to really worry about the design itself. All right, so how fast can you build a website? Well, let's take a look. It's not that hard. You can build a website in less than a day, and with these new features such as the new page layouts and this pre-designed blocks, you can build faster in no time. Let's see what pre-designed blocks look like.
Getting started is easier than ever. Click on any block and choose from a variety of professionally pre-designed layouts. You can still start from scratch if you prefer, but now every block includes ready-made options, making it faster and more intuitive to build beautiful pages. Once you select a layout, it will be added to your page automatically. From there, you can customize the layout and styling, adjust colors, fonts, and animations, add your own text, images, and videos. Every block has its own set of pre-designed styles. Just choose the look that fits your brand, then continue building with content blocks like text, images, video, and forms. Once your layout is in place, replace the sample content with your own. When you're finished, click Preview to see your new site in action. The all-new PhotoBiz. Click Snap Done.
All right, so you can see we built the entire page in less than 30 seconds with the new pre-designed block options. So definitely take advantage of that, and then you just modify and add your own images in. Super simple, super simple. Other things that we got going on, you can check out at our blog.photobiz.com. Pre-designed blocks are available today. Check them out. If you don't know how to utilize them, just select which option you like, then you can modify it and make it beautifully yours in no time. Other options that are available is if you need help full-time, you can go to our education.photobiz.com. You can see coaching services that are available. You can reach out to our team for $150 for 1 hour. You can get a whole lot done. So if you need any assistance, this is one of our most popular services that we have available. If you don't want someone to do everything for you, but you want someone to walk through it with you, talking to you and hearing your feedback and then putting it all together, kind of like what we were doing today, you can have that and you can focus on any of these topics that we have available: marketing, forms and contracts, SEO, design assistance, getting started itself, and e-commerce and client galleries. We also have more upcoming events. Next week, we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite brand new things, the pre-design blocks. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go more in depth so you can see how easy it is. We'll do kind of a build-a-thon. I'll build an entire website from scratch next week so you can see what it looks like utilizing new pre-designed blocks right from the start. Then after that, we have another website review, and then we have an Ask Me Anything About video. So if you need any help with learning more about how video can really enhance your website, you're going to want to be here for that week. If you're just getting started or if you're stumped on something, you can also go to our on-demand video tab in the top menu. You can see all these helpful videos that help you get started or on a subject that you might be working on. You also see PhotoBiz demos that we have available as well. Click on the one that you desire and they'll walk you through setting everything up. And if you want to, you can review our masterclass program from earlier in the year. Some great subjects are there. They're all focused on helping you build out your website, but also performing better in social media and other marketing things, such as SEO in 2025, how AI is helpful for photographers, marketing strategies for website and social media, and how to build a website, set up your client galleries, and utilizing automation, emails, and scheduling. That's it for this week. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Would love to be able to help you more. If you want to have your website reviewed in the future, just click the description. You'll see a form in there. Fill it out, and we'll take a look at your website in our future events. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope everyone has a great, wonderful, long weekend. I'll see you next time.